Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Peter with Aortic Warriors. Here we are going to be talking about Aortic Warriors Walk 2017. Here we are interviewing Pam Landreth and Sean Hughes. They are from Greenville, South Carolina, and they're going to be leading a team called Team Bird. So, Pam, let's start with you. Tell us why you are a team leader over in South Carolina.
Hi, Peter. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. The reason that we are so passionate about the Aortic Warriors Walk in Greenville, South Carolina, this will be the first walk here. And I have a 34-year-old son, and Sean is my daughter. Jason had an aortic dissection at the age of 34. He was working at the end of the day. He was getting ready to leave work. He had about a 30-minute drive home. And as he was leaving, he was telling his friends at work that he was having a chest pain, and also the pain radiated to his jaw, and he was having head pain. So they did not want him to leave and called EMS. His blood pressure was like 185 over 110, very high. He had never been diagnosed with high blood pressure before. So they rushed him to the hospital. The doctors did an EKG. They did a chest x-ray and blood work, and they came out and told us, we were there by that time, they came out and told us that everything looked good and they would probably let him go home. The doctor decided he wanted to do one more test just to be sure, and they did a CAT scan. We were feeling pretty good at this time and thinking they were going to let him go home. I went in and talked to him. He was still having pain that radiated to the jaw. And so they did a CAT scan after that, and came down and told us that he had an aortic dissection. And I said, what is that? I had never heard of that before. They said it's serious, and his aorta actually had started to tear, the major artery to the heart. So they were going to do emergency surgery. They did emergency surgery. It lasted for about 8 hours. It was an all-night surgery. And they were great. They called us all through the night. He had an aneurysm in the arch of his aorta that had started to tear and was about to rupture. So the doctors told us they would do everything they could, letting us know that, he may not make it. He did survive the surgery, and it was monitored for every 6 months for the next 7 years. 2014, Jason had another dissection. He started having pain in his back this time, and this is what you call a descending dissection. So it started as an ascending. It was repaired, and he still had a residual aneurysm from after the first surgery that they monitored. And so the descending dissection went down into his abdomen, the aorta. Some people don't realize, I don't think, that the aorta goes from your heart. It's like a candy cane shape, goes down to the abdomen and spreads out into the legs. So after the descending, we were very concerned. So we were proactive, doing research and trying to find out what we could do to actually prevent this from being another emergency situation. So at that point, he went to Cleveland Clinic, had his ascending aorta replaced, the arch, also had a mechanical valve, and the surgery was successful. Came home after that, went back again because of the descending aorta. He had the aneurysm in his abdomen, so that had to be taken care of. And after the descending was discovered and the aneurysm in his abdomen, we planned another surgery, went back to that, and Jason, they were going to do a very extensive surgery, very dangerous. They decided when we were there not to do that, just to do a stent.
Okay.
And so they placed the stent, we came home, and we were home for a week, and he had an emergency situation, went to the hospital, and he actually passed away a year and a half ago from that.
A year and a half ago. That was then 2000.
That was February 2016.
16. Okay, so if I got this right, in 2007 he had an ascending that was corrected by a graft
Yes.
and a mechanical valve. And then
no, not in 2007. He did not have a mechanical valve.
Right, so
that was
just
in 2015.
2015 he had the graft done.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, sorry, the mechanical valve done.
The valve. Yes.
Okay. And then, but 2014 he had a stent in the descending abdominal aneurysm.
Well, 2014 is when he had the descending dissection. They had been monitoring him since 2007.
Oh, okay.
After the first surgery, and then in 2014, the aorta continued to dissect, and they were going to monitor it. And that's when we were proactive in research, and he had the next surgery at Cleveland Clinic.
Okay.
So that was March of 2015.
Okay.
When he had the mechanical valve, and his arch and ascending aorta was completely replaced at that point.
Okay.
The descending was still dissecting, and they had discovered a very sizable abdominal aneurysm at that point, but it was way too risky to repair or replace the entire aorta at one time. So that's why they did the first part in March, brought us back in the fall of 2015 and said, we need to complete the replacement of the aorta and also repair the abdominal aneurysm.
Okay.
That was fall of 2015, but the doctor did say if you wanted to wait through the holidays and spend that with your family instead of in a hospital, potentially, we could wait until January of 2016, which Jason opted for that choice.
Okay.
That he wanted to wait since the doctors felt like that was a safe option. So we waited, and then in January of this year, January of 2016, we went back to Cleveland Clinic, and they were going to do a very extensive surgery. And at the last moment, the surgeon thought it was best to divide that surgery into two parts. So they went in and did stents at this point. Jason was released and brought home to Greenville, and he survived 1 week after he got home. So he never made it back for the rest of the surgery.
Wow. That is
very long journey that he went over 7 years.
Wow. So sorry to hear what you guys had to go through. Of course, what he had to go through.
Thank you.
I don't even know how to continue that. So this walk then would then be for you to, in a way, commemorate his memory, as well as create the awareness to the rest of the world, to save more lives.
We want to continue his legacy.
Yes.
And create awareness for people to have not only their heart checked, go that extra step. If you're in an emergency, if they come back and say, oh, the blood work is fine, your EKG is fine, say, did you check my aorta?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's so important, because if they had released him the first time at the age of 34, he would have passed away on his way home, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
So we got an additional 8 years with him. So he passed away at the age of 42.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one key thing that I have learned through all of this, and I think it's so important for everybody to know, is that you have to be self-aware. Like, you have to be aware of your own body.
Mm-hmm.
You know yourself better than anyone else. So if you feel that something's wrong or something's not right, do not hesitate. Do not be afraid, and certainly do not be embarrassed to go to that ER and be your advocate. Because you only get one chance at this life, and you never know. And we've heard lots of your stories. We've seen it personally with Jason, my brother. It can happen at any age. It's not to say you have to be above 65 to have a dissection. It could be anybody at any time.
Yes.
So if something doesn't feel right, take that step. Don't be afraid, and go have it checked out.
Yes.
And like your motto is, it's not just the heart, it's the aorta too.
Yes. Yes. Not just the heart, check your aorta too. So that's our Aortic Warriors public awareness campaign. Anything else you would like to add about that?
Well, Peter, I would like to say to the survivors, Jason, after he realized that he did have an aortic dissection after his first surgery, there is so much anxiety, depression. So to all of the survivors out there, this is very normal. Reach out, do research, talk to people. The caregivers, I'd like to say thank you. There is so much stress involved there. There's so much worry on the family. I mean, every single day you think about your loved one and what might happen. But do the research and be proactive. Don't wait. And don't wait for the emergency. Move forward. And I would just like to say, God bless this walk that's going to take place on September the 9th. And thank you. And we are so excited that we're doing it here in Greenville. And we'd like to ask anybody, friends, family, anybody that would like to join us. We have had one doctor's office call and say this chiropractic office that they're going to do massages for the walkers afterwards, and it's enhanced living chiropractic. So we're excited about that, and just excited about the walk. So thank you so much.
And anyone that has been touched by this in South Carolina, knows a family member, a friend, you want to come out and support us and just make a tribute to Jason, either financially or just to come out and walk, or just through prayers. Any of that is so appreciated. And I just think knowledge is power, but it's what you do with that knowledge that's going to make all the difference. So that's our goal. And we feel like our purpose and mission is just to help educate people through this process.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Sean. And Pam, you touch on so many people, on the survivors and their emotional condition. You touch on the caregivers and what they go through. These are people that I consider heroes, because they are there night and day helping the survivor, and it takes a lot of emotional toll. And even though we try to do our best with the Aortic Warriors to try to bring support to even that group of people that people kind of forget about, because they only focus on the survivor, but the caregiver, they need attention too.
They do, absolutely.
Yes. Especially
and we're only a phone call away. We're here to support those, to support the caregivers and the survivors, and that's why we're doing this. We want to make a difference. I don't want to see another mother or wife or sister or child to lose a loved one.
Yes.
So we're here to support.
Yes.
And we're excited.
Yes. Thank you. And of course, Sean, you've had yourself checked, and then you will continue to follow through with that.
Yes, absolutely. I get checked every year. Echocardiograms. I've had a AAA ultrasound. I've had extensive genetic testing done as well because Jason had that done. So, and I have come out to be all clear. Thank goodness. So, but I will continue to be proactive with that as well.
Yes, I think you were also right in being proactive because, nothing against doctors, but sometimes we have to push a little bit.
Yes.
Push a little bit.
Ask questions. Talk. Don't be afraid to do that.
Yes. And sometimes people don't know what to ask. If you don't know what you don't know, how to even formulate a question. And hopefully from this interview, they will look at, hey, can you take a look at my aorta too? Can you take a look at my genetics? All these things can save a life. Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Right.
Is there anything else you would like to add before we close?
Just God bless the event and come join us to support this walk and create awareness for aortic dissection, which a lot of people don't even realize what it is.
Right.
Yes.
And we appreciate you very much, Peter. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
For what you do. Yes.
Thank you, Sean. Well, thank you, Sean, and thank you, Pam, for your time. Again, for those that are watching this, go to aorticwarriorswalk.org. And if you're in South Carolina, make sure you click on to that city so you can register with them and walk with them. And,
Team Bird.
Team Bird.
Team Bird. That's right. Woohoo! Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will look forward to seeing you on the walk. And make sure you take a lot of pictures and even videos.
Of course.
Send them in, and then we'll include them on our video for 2017.
Thank you, Peter.
Happy to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.